to Ilford in Essex. In an attempt to discover if a fading newspaper article passed down through the generations links the Chapman family to a brilliant ancestor.
Well, the object I have is a newspaper clipping from 1936, which has my great-grandmother's writing on top. And the article is about an astronomer from the 19th century called John Couch Adams.
I would just love to know whether we are actually related or whether my grandmother had cut the newspaper cutting out just because she'd come from that neck of the woods.
I've always disbelieved my mother. I've never quite believed that someone like me could be related to someone quite as famous as John Couch Adams. And if you can prove it either way, I will be very, very happy.
John Couch Adams was born in Cornwall in 1819, and from an early age excelled as a mathematician. No problem was too big for him to solve. At the age of 21, he began studying at Cambridge University, his main interest being astronomy. And it was there that he predicted the position of the seventh planet in the solar system.
Scientifically, the discovery of Neptune is very important because it showed that mathematics and the theory of gravity could be used to predict the positions of new things. In 1841, Adams, soon after he came to Cambridge, was reading some books about astronomy, and he basically heard that the position of the planet Uranus, which was the most distant planet known at that time, seemed to have a wobble. And there were a number of different theories for this wobble. One was that it just wobbled because it did. And some people, of course, just would accept things if it wobbles. The other one possibly was that Newton's theory of gravity was wrong. And what Couch Adams did, he took a third possibility that maybe Uranus was being affected by the gravitational attraction of another planet that we didn't know about. The problem was that this planet that he predicted was too faint to be seen with the naked eye, and therefore he had to persuade some of the more senior or older astronomers to actually use the telescope that's behind me to search for this mysterious possible planet. Unfortunately, or by a bit of bad luck, at the same time, a German group were doing the same sort of work, and in fact, the German group in Munich found the planet first. But the key thing is that Adams was the first person to predict the position of the planet.
So, is John Couch Adams in some way related to Barbara and Deborah Chapman? Deborah has traced part of her family tree and discovered relatives with the name Chubb and Holman. Could one of these names connect them to Couch Adams?
When I first saw Deborah's family tree, there was no mention of it, of the Adams family. So it was a case of working back through the Adams family to see if there was a connection with the Chubb family. As a result of the census, I knew that the Adams family came from Lanneast and Eglos Kerry. But then I had a remarkable piece of luck. There was a family history fair in London, and attending it were the Cornwall Family History Society, who brought along their computer database of baptisms, marriages and burials in Cornwall. I managed to get about an hour on this database, and as a result of looking at the database, I was able to trace the Adams family right back to a marriage in 1698 in St Clever, next parish to Lanneast, of John Adams and English Chubb. I then wanted to bring the family down to that of John Couch Adams. Fortunately, the parish registers of Lanneast are fairly comprehensive, but there was a missing marriage that I needed to find. This I found in the Devon records for I. Well, having drawn up a family tree of the Adams and Chubb family, John Adams and English Chubb were the great-great-grandparents of John Couch Adams. English Chubb is almost certainly the great-great-great-aunt of Richard Chubb, who is Deborah's direct ancestor. This is one of the most interesting pieces of research I've ever been asked to do. There's still quite a lot of research to be done on both families, but it's a fascinating family, and Deborah is very lucky to have such interesting ancestors.
John Couch Adams spent the majority of his life in Cambridge. He died there in 1892 and was buried nearby. His work is still remembered and highly respected today.
John Couch Adams was a remarkably modest person. He was awarded and he turned down a knighthood. In some sense, this is sort of, I think it typifies many scientists. Many scientists actually are quite modest individuals who actually work together as teams. And in some sense, Couch Adams may have thought that he was using the work of others to make his prediction. And I think he just felt that maybe he shouldn't be singled out as the individual to get the special award. The theoretical techniques, the mathematics that John Couch Adams developed is actually used nowadays. It's no more complicated. The difference is that remarkably John Couch Adams did this work without a computer, whereas nowadays if I was doing work looking at planets, we use the best computers we can get to do it. But he had his brain was as powerful as the most powerful computers we have nowadays.
It was time to return to Ilford to confirm for Deborah and Barbara that they did indeed have a truly exceptional ancestor.
I am absolutely delighted to be proved wrong. Because I always disputed it, but I'm so happy to find out.
And I think it's absolutely wonderful to be able to go that far back, and it's unbelievable.
I didn't think it was going to be my great-great-great-grandparents. I thought if there was going to be a connection like Mum, I thought it was going to be somebody who married into one of the brothers or sisters. But no, to go back there to English Chubb, who is we're directly descended from.
That's wonderful.
I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely thrilling. They are.